If books could talk, today we are talking to the millionaire next door.
Why is it that you make $30,000 a month, but you can't save any money, while your neighbor John, who drives a beat-up car, yet he can afford to buy a house in cash?
Let me ask you a question first. How many millionaires do you think there are in US?
A house in New York City costs millions now. There should be a lot, right?
I'm talking about net worth, not total assets. You gotta subtract the mortgage, the car loan, all the debt you have.
That's a lot less than maybe 5% of people.
Less than 2%. But what's even more interesting is, among these truly wealthy people, how many can you actually recognize?
What do you mean?
I've surveyed over 10,000 millionaires and found something shocking. You'd never even guess they're rich.
How's that possible? Aren't rich people driving supercars, living in mansions, wearing luxury watches?
That's the biggest misconception. Do you know what the most common car driven by a millionaire is?
A BMW, Mercedes,
Toyota Camry.
Are you kidding me?
And they drive it for 7-8 years. What's even more ironic is the average annual income of Mercedes owners. Guess how much?
At least $1 million, right?
300,000. And 86% of them are paying off car loans.
Wait, so you're saying the people driving Mercedes are actually the ones who are broke?
Not necessarily broke, but they have zero net worth. They're what I call high-income poor people.
How can you be high-income and poor at the same time?
If you make $100,000 a month, but spend $99,000, you're poor. If you make $10,000 a month, save $3,000, you're getting rich. Wealth isn't about how much you make, it's about how much you keep.
But someone making $100,000 a month has a better quality of life.
Quality of life. Or just a lifestyle illusion.
What illusion?
Let me tell you a real case. Two doctors both making $1 million a year. Dr. A lives in a huge 3,000 square foot house and drives a Porsche. Dr. B lives in a modest 1,000 square foot apartment and drives a Honda. Who do you think is wealthier?
Definitely, Dr. A.
10 years later, Dr. A gets laid off and goes bankrupt in 3 months. Dr. B quits to start a business, fails twice, but now worth over $100 million.
Why such a huge difference?
Because Dr. A's wealth was built entirely on debt. A $5 million mortgage, a $500,000 car loan, but he had to pay back $80,000 in monthly payments. Once the income stops, game over.
What about Dr. B?
Dr. B only spent $30,000 a month, saved $70,000. Over 10 years, he had $8.4 million just in principal. With investment returns, asset is over $10 million.
But doesn't that feel miserable, making $1 million a year, but living like you make $300,000?
Who's actually miserable? Dr. B, who can quit whenever he wants. Or Dr. A, who's so scared of losing his job he can't sleep.
Dr. A.
That's financial fragility. People who look glamorous are often one hit away from disaster.
So, how do I know if I'm actually rich or just fake rich?
There's a simple test. If you lose your job today, how many months could you survive?
Maybe 2 months.
The average answer from millionaires is 10 years.
10 years? How is that possible?
Because their passive income already covers their daily expenses.
Passive income?
It's money you make while you sleep. Dividends, rent, interest.
Wait, so you're saying they have money coming in without even working?
Yes, that's true wealth. It's not about how much money you have. It's about how long your money can support you.
But how do people get passive income?
That's the core difference. Rich people buy assets, while poor people buy liabilities.
What are assets and liabilities?
Simply put, an asset puts money into your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket.
So what about a house?
A house you live in. If you're paying a mortgage every month, that's a liability.
But houses appreciate in value.
If the value goes up, are you going to sell it?
No. I still need to live there.
Then what's the point of appreciation? It's just paper wealth, while your monthly mortgage is real cash flowing out.
So rich people don't buy houses?
They do. They just do it in a different order. Poor people buy a big house first and get stuck with a 30-year mortgage. Rich people buy a small house first, invest the money they save, and eventually use their investment gains to buy the big house.
Sounds like rich people are pretty stingy.
Not stingy. It's about being selectively frugal.
What do you mean?
They are extremely stingy with things that don't matter, but they won't hesitate to spend on things that do.
Like what?
On average, millionaires spend 5 times more on their children's education than the average family. But the clothes they buy for their kids are mostly from Uniqlo.
Why?
Because education is an investment that grows. Clothes are consumption. They lose value the moment you buy them.
But dressing to plain won't the kids feel inferior?
Do you know the first lesson rich people teach their kids?
Money management?
Your value isn't determined by what you wear. It's defined by what you create.
I get the logic, but kids at school are always comparing themselves to others.
That's why truly wealthy people are very careful about the environment their kids grow up in. Not for vanity. It's about avoiding toxic values.
Let's talk about me. I make $30,000 a month now, but I really can't save any money.
How much do you spend a month?
Roughly $30,000.
Let me guess your spending breakdown. $8,000 for rent, $5,000 for food, $5,000 for shopping, $3,000 for entertainment.
How did you know?
Because all paycheck-to-paycheck people have similar spending patterns. 50% fixed expenses, 30% impulse spending, 20% entertainment.
So how do I change?
First, ask yourself a question. Do you want to look rich or actually be rich?
I want to be rich, obviously.
Then you need to accept a harsh reality. Before you become truly wealthy, you have to look ordinary first.
Why?
Because you can't build wealth and show it off at the same time. If you're busy showing off now, you'll never accumulate.
But if you don't enjoy yourself when you're young, what's the point of having money when I'm old?
Who says you can't enjoy life? Rich people just enjoy differently.
How's it different?
For the poor, enjoyment comes from consuming. For the wealthy, it comes from experiences.
What's the difference?
If you buy a $30,000 bag, you're happy for 3 days. Then it becomes decoration in your closet. But if you spend that $30,000 on seeing the northern lights, scuba diving, or skydiving, those memories stay with you forever.
But you can use a bag every day.
How many bags do you own? Are you really using all of them?
Honestly, most of them are just gathering dust.
That's the consumer's trap. It tricks you into believing that owning things is more important than experiencing life.
So rich people don't buy luxury goods at all.
They do. But the timing is different. My research found millionaires buy their first luxury item on average age of 38.
Isn't that middle age?
The key is, they buy it with investment returns, not their salary.
What do you mean?
The poor buy luxury with their principal. The rich buy it with their interest. One gets poorer with every purchase. The other stays rich after buying.
I understand the logic, but I really can't do it.
You're struggling because you don't have a system. Let me give you a method that almost all millionaires use.
What method?
Pay yourself first.
What does that mean?
The day you get paid, auto-transfer 30% to another account. Pretend that money doesn't exist.
30%? What if what's left isn't enough to cover my bills?
You'll be surprised. It will be enough. Your spending habits naturally adjust to your available income.
Seriously?
When you switched jobs and got a 50% raise, did your savings increase by 50%?
Not really. The money just kind of vanished.
That's Parkinson's law. Expenses automatically expand to full income. The only way is to hide part of your income first.
Okay, so I hide it. Then what?
Invest it, but not the kind of investing you're thinking.
You mean don't trade stocks?
What millionaires buy most often are index funds. Boring, simple, but it works.
Why not trade stocks? The returns could be way higher.
Actually, 90% of individual investors fail to beat the market index, including those experts who check the charts every day.
No way.
Because they're always thinking, buy low, sell high, but they usually end up doing the exact opposite.
So how much can you make with index funds?
Around 10% annually over the long term.
Only 10%?
Do you realize what 10% means? Your money doubles every 7 years.
Wait. Let me do the math.
If you start at age 30, saving $5,000 a month, retiring at 60. How much do you think you'll have?
A few million?
11 million.
How is that possible?
That's the magic of compound interest. Einstein called it the eighth wonder of the world.
But what if the stock market crashes?
That's actually the best time to buy.
Why?
Think about it. If the supermarket has a 50% off sale, would you buy more or less?
Of course, buy more.
What about when the stock market is 50% off?
Isn't that a loss?
Ron, that's a discount. The same money buys you more shares. Rich people love bear markets because that's when assets are on clearance.
But mentally I can't accept it.
That's why the rich have a specific mindset. They look at the next 20 years, while the poor only look at the next 20 days. But of course, you need to have the cash to buy, instead of paying mortgage during a bear market.
So it all comes back to saving money.
Not just saving money. It's building a wealth system.
What system?
Income system, savings system, investment system. All three working together.
Sounds complicated.
It's actually just 3 steps. Work hard to increase income. Force yourself to save 30%. And consistently invest in index funds. Do that for 20 years. And you're financially free.
20 years is a long time.
Is it? Look back at the last 20 years. Didn't it just fly by? The difference is, some people spent those 20 years building wealth. Others accumulated debt.
If you could only give one piece of advice to young people,
stop pretending to be rich. When you no longer need material things to prove yourself, that's when you truly start getting rich.
One last question. Is it too late for me to start now?
I know a cleaning lady who started at 45. She saved $2,000 a month in index funds. And by the time she retired at 65, she had 1.8 million. It wasn't because she made a lot of money, but because she understood one thing.
What thing?
Getting rich slowly is the only reliable path to wealth for ordinary people. Striking it rich is luck. Staying rich is a skill.
Thank you. I finally understand what true wealth is all about.
Just remember, wealth isn't the finish line. It's a tool. Its purpose isn't to let you buy more things, but to give you the freedom to say no. When you can say no to your boss, say no to consumer temptations, say no to the judgment of others, that's when you're truly free. And this freedom is the real essence of being rich.